Hello everyone, Chris Welch with Julian Reese, and we are happy to bring you week 2 of the High Plains Huddle, brought to you by Plains Dairy. And they've gave us a few things to put out today, even some milk, but unfortunately some of the product didn't make it to showtime. We did take care of that today, a few of us did at least. So, but welcome to week 2. Also want to give a big shout out to L4 Media, our partners out of Dallas-Fort Worth area, all that they do to promote this show as well. And then Warrior Garden Studios. Really appreciate them doing all of this fancy work, Julian, giving us a place to record it, and then giving us all the fancy graphics as well. So, well, let's jump in. Man, I tell you, what a great week 2, Julian. And it started with a bang with Amarillo High on the road at San Angelo.
Jet Lopez is leading the way right now in the Panhandle with his quarterback play. Another game over 300 yards, another game with at least 3 touchdowns.
First time I think they said they've had a quarterback go 2.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. Amarillo High has been such a heavy run team for years, and I believe about 5-6 years ago they kind of switched to more of a passing team and spreading out a little bit. I mean, Austin Sluter, 145 yards with 2 touchdowns. So he's starting to put his mark on this area about who he is as a receiver, and they're trying to find their identity there on their offense. So they're doing a really good job. So they come out 2-0 and with a big win, and Jet showing his arm strength in that game.
Yeah, definitely kind of coming up as one of those premier athletes up here in the Texas Panhandle. Tascosa, a little bit of a shock. We were talking pre-show a little about this. We didn't think Tascosa would roll that big over Wichita Falls Legacy, but boy, they did 53-3. I think you were there.
They from start to finish, Tascosa had their way with Legacy, and it was a shock to see because you just didn't never know which way they're going to go with their offense, and then Legacy trying to bounce back from the season that they had last year, trying to still figure out the players and the dynamic of who they are with the separation of their team. So, but it was a super shock. Colton did a great job leading the team. I believe he left the fourth quarter, a little bit in the fourth quarter, didn't have to play again. And they got some younger guys in there, got to see some good things from their younger guys coming in from their JV and some other people that want to play. Tristan, he had a great game. 4 times he found the end zone, and defense just did a great job. They didn't have an answer for Crush. They were double teaming, holding. Those weren't getting called, but I mean, he was just having his way with their offensive line. So it was good to see for this area to put on for Wichita.
That's good. Well, let's jump over to Paladura. We talked about that game last week a little bit, and Caprock actually had PD at their homecoming, correct?
PD played them for their homecoming game. It was a shocker to see early in the season, but PD's homecoming is this weekend. So
what is it about if somebody picks you for their homecoming? What are they saying to you, right?
Well, we have an easy win. Traditionally, coming from playing, it's like we pick a team that we think we're going to beat or have a chance of beating for our homecoming so we can go celebrate. So it was a good game. Caprock still trying to find some things. They had a lot of graduates, so they're still trying to fine-tune some things. Paladura played real well. They still have some things they want to correct and fix. Deuce had a pretty good game. Came out first possession on defense. He got an interception for a touchdown, pick six, 45 yards. And he did well in his passing game, 282 yards, 3 touchdowns, rushing touchdown, 52 yards rushing. So he had a decent game.
So he had 5 total touchdowns.
Yeah, 5 total touchdowns.
Proud dad moment.
Proud dad moment, and it was good to see him do that and just have felt a little relief for himself. And then obviously Darian, both way Darian, that's what they call him. He had another great game, punt return for I believe 80 yards.
Oh wow!
Did some really good things on offense as well. So they're trying to fine tune some things. So hopefully they can get it all going once they play against Kane this week.
Well, you've got a little insight, obviously, into PD with your son there, and then your brother-in-law coaching there as well, and just some history there. But I think what they're doing there is different than what's been done in the past. They're trying to build that program, right? From that all the way down into that junior high, if not even younger area up. I think you're starting to see a little bit of that now come. Because how long's
this is be his 5th year.
Okay.
This would be
so now it takes
4
about
or 5 years.
Yeah.
He came in 21, so
okay.
Yeah, it takes a little moment. He's trying to build all that. He's getting the right coaches in there, trying to find a mix of players, personnel, doing some different things. So, and it's starting to formulate for him, and we're just going to see the fruits of that labor soon, hopefully.
Yeah, so it's really neat when you can get a program that starts to build that way, right? And I remember way back, I'm not going to give dates because it'll date how old I actually am, but way back, I grew up in East Texas, and Marshall kind of went through the same thing when we got Dennis Parker there as our head coach. It took about 4 years, but boy, year 5 and year 6 were big years during that time. So it just takes that long. Well, let's talk a little bit about Dumas. Jump on down to that 4A ranks. Man, Dumas in the last 2 weeks have scored 102 points, and they've only allowed 6. They're on fire. They're one of those hot teams right now, and Colton is really lighting it up over there.
Colton is leading the way. Colton is showing why he's a premier quarterback in this area. His junior year has been a starter since he was a freshman, and it's starting to really show now. He's more comfortable. He doesn't get out of the pocket so quickly like he used to. He sits in the pocket. He trusts his line. He trusts his receivers, and he's putting the ball where it needs to be, as well as using his feet when he has to. So it's actually really good to see them playing the way they're playing, and we just hope that they continue to move on. But not only that, the defense is really sparking the offense. The defense is getting the ball back in the offensive hand, and they're doing what they're supposed to with it. So it's good to see them do that. So now, but this week's competition is going to be a little bit different. So it's going to be a little bit different going up against Canadians. So it's going to be a sight to see, and I'm rooting for Dumas.
Okay, all right. Well, that'll be that's a very interesting matchup because that's a small 3A. And a 4A D2?
D2?
Yeah, school. So, yeah, that becomes interesting. Let's talk a little bit about Canyon. Canyon went on the road to Andrews and had to make a little bit of a comeback to get that win. 22-16, they come out of there with that win, though. So, great win by Canyon to come back with that. Baylor Schilling had 195 yards receiving in that game, so great receiving day for him.
That's big because Canyon, I mean, it hasn't been a while before you had big receiving yards from Canyon. They're still trying to figure out their quarterback situation and leader of their team. So once they get that figured out, hopefully not this week, but they can worry about it later. But then they'll be on the run like Canyon normally is. The Eagles are always in the hunt doing something within that Canyon ISD. So it's going to be fun to watch this game. They came back last year down 11 points and ended up beating Paladura last year. So Paladura has a little revenge coming for them.
Yeah. So West Plains, who really, if you look at it, last time I saw they were number 2 by the early rankings. Salina's number 1. So showdown happening. So West Plains really getting a lot of state recognition. They're in their 4th year as a program, ranked number 2 in the state. Made a great run last year as well after the loss to Bushland, and they didn't lose again until the semifinals to Salina. So they dominated Clint Horizon 58-0. Just a blinking.
It was just never. It never stood a chance. Clinton Horizon never stood a chance in the game. Reed is on. I believe he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. Even though he's top ranked in this area, he still has not been respected as a quarterback, as a signal caller, and as a leader. And he's all of those things. They have a really good bond as a team with their players. They have a good relationship, and they're looking to make a real big mark this year. And they want to make sure that they let their presence be known. They're not going to try to just ease them away. They're going to try to blow everybody out, and they're going to show them why they should be number 1 and why they have a chance to win the state this year.
Yeah. We'll talk about the Bushland matchup soon. I'm worried about that one as it comes through, but. Well, let's kick on down to 3A. So really, it was the game of the week in the state of Texas. Dave Campbell's had this as the game of the week. And I think it almost is every year these two teams meet. But Canadian and Bushland, you got Bushland's been a powerhouse in that 3A Division I. Canadian, we all know, has been the powerhouse in D2 for quite a while now. So we went into this game, broadcast partner Mark and I, our pregame said this would be a very defensive battle. And if you know anything about that Bushland Canadian matchup, it's rarely a defensive battle. It's all an offensive showcase, right?
Boom, boom,
it's
boom,
just back and forth. 40, 50 points is not unusual for those two teams to score. However, we both felt and almost got proved wrong, but we thought the winner would not score over 28 points. And that ended up being the case. Canadian wins 24-14, but we were a little worried because it both started with, I think, 2 or 3 plays, Canadian scores, and then Bushland scores, and it's 7-7, and we're like, oh, well, maybe we were wrong. And then the defenses kind of took over. But great, I'll say this, Canadian came in with a really good game plan. We talked a little bit about Jackson Lawler, really one of the biggest recruits from a defensive perspective.
In the area.
Yeah, in the area. And they did a really good job of keeping him at bay, and they did that just through a quick offense. If you get back there, you know this. A quarterback, he's going to start getting antsy after 3 or 4 seconds, and there's a reason for that. When you've got Jackson coming in, somebody of that size, 2 to 3 seconds, and he's going to be on you pretty quick, no matter how many people you put on him. And that's what they did. They really kept quick pace going pretty early. That caused a defensive front change. And when that changed, now it opened up Canadians' offense. So hats off to Canadian. I thought they played really, really well.
Canadian is just a consistent team. I still remember when they came out, when Coach Carter was at WT, and they talked about schematics and what they do. And this is a team that truly sticks to what they're good at, and they stick to their formula and their process, and they don't change from it. They can be down, but they're going to stick to what they worked on all week in practice. And that's a big, big thing when it comes to football, that you stick to what you know and don't try to change it because you're up or down, but just stick to it. And at one point, it's going to blow for them. And it looks like that will happen this weekend with against Bushland.
Yeah. Other key matchups around the area from some of our smaller schools. Man, Panhandle is rolling right now. I think that the Panthers are just they've hit a pretty good stride.
They hit a stride. They're doing really good. They got some pretty good receivers out there, and you got a quarterback where he's throwing 364 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Army commit.
Not only is he an Army commit with his arm, but his legs, what he can do in buying time with the ball, and that puts pressure on the defense. Who, okay, do we come up? Do we stay back? And so he's a phenomenal quarterback in this area, and he's going to be great. Hopefully, Army sees that his arm is really well, and they'll put the ball in the air a little bit too for him when he gets there.
Army throw the ball? What's that all about?
I don't know. We'll see.
They've scored 132 points and given up 19 so far in 2 games.
Two games,
132 points. Pretty crazy. Couple of 6-man games I wanted to point out, only because I actually went to one Thursday night. I went and saw Will Dorado take on the Panhandle Christian Homeschools Association. They won that, or the Will Dorado fell short in that one, 73-27. Pretty impressed with that homeschool team. A very disciplined team, pretty good sized kids. But then let's flip over to Boys Ranch. Man.
Boys Ranch has moved on to the 6A, and they're doing well. They have a lot of skill players. Corday Jackson, one of the running backs, switched to a little bit of receiver, plays defense. He's doing a great job there. They're putting up points, put up 60 to 0 in that game. And when they get going and continue to do that, I think they're going to make a push for the state run as well with those athletes that they have. Because they have so many different athletes and different weapons on their team to be able to play in a game of 6-man football that is going to be pretty interesting to see them play.
Well, we said this wasn't just about football. So we'll both step out of our comfort zone. I'll step out of my comfort zone a little bit. I have a great story to tell someday on the volleyball. But so years ago, Mark and I were asked to broadcast a volleyball game for Bushland. And we're like, yeah, we're football guys. And they go, no, you need to broadcast volleyball. And Mark goes, you want to broadcast volleyball? And I go, no, I don't want to broadcast volleyball. I said, tell you what, I'll run the camera. You take the lead, Mark. And they're giving signals, and Mark's like, what's that? And I go, I don't know. I think it's illegal procedure. He goes, no, they don't have that in volleyball.
No, this is rotate.
So it's quite the memorable first time that we ever did that. And I'll tell another funny story later time on Mark. But so in volleyball, you really got in the area this year, Bushland, Amarillo High, and West Plains.
Mm-hmm.
And Bushland and West Plains went at it this last week. West Plains took it 3-2. It did go to 5 games, but that was a ball game for sure.
Volleyball is a sport that you just got to continue to understand and know that these young ladies are out here hustling to be able to track down a ball, to be able to set a ball. I'm thinking they're carrying the ball, but it's called a lift. You got all kinds of different things that you're looking at, but they're playing really well. And like you said, you got Coach Burns. Once she switched over to Emerald High, she really changed and propelled that team and that school back. I wouldn't say back. I would say over what the expectation was, and she's doing a great job there. You have a lot of different schools coming in. Emerald High did sweep Plainview. Behind Harper Vaughn's 13 kills. Bennett Reed crossing, she had 1,000 career assists. And those assists are important. Wow. Just like in soccer or hockey, the assist leaders are super important when it comes to volleyball, setting people up, knowing where to put the ball. So the libero is very, very important. But you have schools like Palo Duro trying to make a new change. They've lost a lot of sets, but it hasn't been like in the past where it's just sweeps really quick. Coach Jeffrey's doing a good job with a young team. She has some freshmen playing varsity this year. My niece actually playing varsity. Her name is Emery Walker, Boss's daughter.
Oh,
Kendrick
yeah.
Boss Walker from the Emerald Dusters and Venom Days. His
Okay.
daughter is over there, trying to help change that program around as well.
Well, good. Yeah. And volleyball, as we all know, if you're watching and you're from the Panhandle, you get it. Volleyball's big up here, and it's
Big.
huge.
That's just an understatement.
Yeah. I mean, when you got teams, and I'll just use Bushland as a good example, regularly go out and beat 5A, 6A teams
6A
in the preseason and make a run at state. In fact, they've won state 3 out of the last 4 years. But again, you got such great competition up here, and those teams do well at state every single year, make that run. So definitely a big statement here. And then there's girls basketball, and we won't get into that yet, but that's huge. I never lived in a place where girls basketball. Yeah. So we'll get all that. So really, let's just talk about a few players. We highlighted some of them. Jet Lopez, Braxton Robinson over there at Panhandle, Deuce, your son, and then ZJ over at Dumas. Just Colton having a great year, I think.
we were talking to somebody about just the year of 26 class and the 27 class when it comes to football, and just watching them when they were just in Little League, when they were coming up in TTYFL and Kids Inc., when they were coming through those both rankings, you saw the talent level of those kids then. So now they're all kind of catching up to each other, and you have 26, 27 playing with each other right behind. So it's just going to be great football all year this year, and I'm excited just to see that. So just the consistency of the quarterback play is going to be really important, and we're going to watch just great talent everywhere. You look at KJ Barnes, you have him. He's one of the most underrated players in this area. The kid had 174 solo tackles last year.
That's crazy,
and which is insane. And he fell off some of the list. Don't know how he didn't get on them, but 174 tackles at 5'10". He switched from running back to linebacker in 1 year and did that. He's still having a phenomenal season this year, starting off doing really well. He's already in double digits, so look out for that name, Kamaje Barnes, over at Paladar High School.
Okay, good to know. Volleyball players, we already mentioned some of them. Harper Vaughn over there at Amarillo High, just having a great year. Kitchen at West Plains. Yeah, I think, what was it? We didn't mention her earlier, but she had 24 kills. 24 kills. That was crazy.
So what a kill is she basically intimidating you at the net. So you jump, she's spiking, and she's getting it in. So that's very impressive. 24 is impressive.
Yeah, but Kinsey Ward had 18 for West Plains as well. So just a great job there. And then you got Haley Parrott over at Lubbock Coronado as well, down there in Lubbock.
She had 19, I believe, in her game.
So yeah, just a lot going on. I wanted to touch a little bit on just some week 3 matchups that we'll get to talk on next week. There's some big games coming up. Amarillo High's at Midland. That's going to be a pretty darn good ball game.
I'm taking Amarillo High by 10.
Okay, you're taking Amarillo High. Pampa at Caprock.
I'm taking Caprock.
Okay, I'm going to take Pampa. We'll see. Tascosa at Lubbock Cooper.
Tascosa.
I'm going to take Tascosa as well. Plainview at Hereford. Yeah, I'll probably have to go Hereford. I almost went Plainview, but I have to go Hereford.
Quarterback stud, baseball stud. He's a great player. They got a good combination. Him and his receiver are locked in right now. So I think Hereford will take him.
Canyon at PD. Yeah, you got to take PD.
Oh, we taking PD.
Yeah.
we're looking for Coach Snyder's defense to pitch another shutout.
Okay, I'm good with that as well. Dumas at Canadian.
I'm not taking either one. I'm taking Dumas. Colton
I said pregame Dumas as well.
Colton is playing he's playing at a high level, and with a confidence that you have to have to play that position. When you get looked over for height, size, stuff like that, but he's playing at a really good confidence level. But the defense is really what's carrying them, and they trust each other. And I think they have a team. Once you get that team atmosphere kind of locked in, that communication with all aspects of the team, it's hard to beat. So I would take.
And when you get a third-year quarterback in there, as a junior, that makes a big difference.
That 1 year makes a big difference.
It does. Perryton at Randall. I don't know.
I'm going with Sherwood. I trust in Sherwood, so I'm going with Randall. You gotta go with the area.
I'll say Randall as well. I'll say Randall. West Plains at Lubbock Estacado.
I think that's be one of their first competitions, but still, I trust in
I'm
Reed.
West Plains. Yeah, I would agree with that. Bushland at Midland Christian. This is an interesting one. Midland Christian's pretty big. I kind of have to go with Bushland,
I know who you going for.
but it's going to be a good ball game, I think.
I think it's
Bushland's got to find some offense. That's the key. Bushland has to find offense.
If they can find offense and they can control the pace of the game, Bushland will win it. But I would lean more towards Bushland because they're in the area. Yeah. I'm not going against the area.
And then Panhandle at Dalhart. I'm going Panhandle, and
I'm going Panhandle.
So let's talk real quick. That's a 2A going against a 3A. It's a big step up, but boy, Panhandle just seems they've got it going on.
Robinson plays like he's a 6A quarterback. So he controls the game. Again, that's another leader. He can do it both with his legs and with his arm. So I'm going Panhandle.
Okay. Well, let's hit a couple of college from yesterday.
USF beating Florida.
Absolutely.
What was that?
So you know who their kicker is, right? It's Grammatica. Remember him?
It's his son. Okay, I didn't put that together, but yeah.
Yeah. So they did. They stunned that with Nico's deal. Mississippi State.
Brandon had a catch for a touchdown. He did good.
Yeah, meet them. How about Baylor upsetting SMU?
I don't think that was an upset. You got to think about who Sawyer Vest is. Sawyer played at Coronado. Then he went to Mississippi State to play football and baseball. But he left to go to Baylor. And Sawyer is he's a phenomenal quarterback. I watched him.
As far as rankings go, it was an upset. Yeah. How about Oklahoma beating Michigan?
I was surprised. I'm not going to tell the story. I had Michigan beating them. Big Ten.
Ohio State. He went 16 for 16 for 290 yards and 4 touchdowns.
There's only one other quarterback that, excuse me, I ever see do that. Tony Romo.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Tony Romo went 16 for 16 against us.
Oh.
and it was a beauty to watch. So Ohio State, they're a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I think so too. Carson Beck almost went perfect, 22 of 24 for 267 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Well, when you've been in college for 20 years, I mean, what else? They know Beck knows every defense there is. He's been in college for forever.
Was he 35?
He's 35 years old playing against these kids. No, he's a great quarterback. He's a great leader. So to be able to do that at any stage is very, very impressive.
And then Arch had a little bit of a bounce back. He had a little bit easier game this week, but he kind of settled in, I think, a little bit. He needed this game last week.
They have to get
before
off
he went. I know he's young.
Not only that, your name does carry a lot of weight. He didn't bring it upon himself.
Nope.
But my biggest thing is they got to give Arch and Shador the same treatment. You got to give Arch the Shador treatment, and he has to understand that he's going to play well. It's Texas. Everybody's looking at Texas. They want him to do bad more than they want him to do good. I don't know what society is. Want to see a kid do bad instead of good. It's insane that grown men want to see young men do bad. So I think it's a complex.
Well, we'll go down and we'll record our picks for week 3. And we'll put a little tally marker and see who got what right. And we'll just have a little friendly competition because, hey, it's football.
It's football.
We got to have some competition. Well, hey, thanks everybody for joining us this week for week 2 of the High Plains Huddle, brought to you by Plains Dairy. Maybe we'll try to get some chocolate milk not drank last time.
We got to get some strawberry in here.
I didn't see any strawberry. I would have got it. Don't they do blueberry as well? Isn't there blueberry?
Blueberry milk?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
We might have to try some of that with some Oreos next week.
So, Plains guys, if you really got blueberry coming, we'd like to get some of that. We need some strawberry. I didn't see any strawberry where I stopped, so you'll have to hook us up. But thanks to Plains Dairy for supporting the broadcast. Also, L4 Media, thank you guys for kind of giving us the idea to do this, but also getting this out there as well. And then Warriors Garden Studios for just behind the scenes. We could turn the camera and show you those guys over there, but they would be mad and say, no, we have a face for radio. But gotta give them a hard time. So anyway, thanks for all that they do behind the scenes, putting this all together. So for Julian Reese, this is Chris Welch, and we will see you next week.